It's Monday, August 5th, and we have a lot to go over. We have the Olympics in Paris. We have football back, sort of. And we'll find out why Miles' favorite team was lucky to even get a hit this weekend, and why it shouldn't even matter. They're by far not the worst team in baseball.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots.
The Olympic Committee had 3 years to get this right, and they still screwed it all up.
This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots. Welcome, sinners. This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Welcome in, sinners, episode 2. Man, we are almost a full week in this. Welcome to another week of our favorite time. NFL preseason is here. We got the Olympics. They are here. And just a ton to go over. I'm wearing my Giants jersey, as always, joined by Miles Behind Enemy Lines and Mr. T.I. from Titans Idiot Nation, who's going to tell us a little bit about a fun podcast that he was on last week. That was pretty cool. But I want to get into a couple things first right away. So Blake Snell, I was ready to write him off, I will admit. A Giants fan, grew up in the Bay Area. He was terrible. I was excited that the San Francisco Giants have the Cy Young Award winner from last year and the runner-up. So you would think okay, if this was back in 2010, 2012, or 2014, hey, we'd be in business. But they're not in business this year at all. But Blake Snell, I freaking could have went to that game. It was in Cincinnati. Miles' favorite baseball team hails from there. And how many hits did they get on Friday? The goose egg.
That's how much love I have for my team right now.
The goose egg.
The 18th no-hitter thrown in Giants history was by a one Blake Snell. So congratulations to Blake Snell. He is now 1-3 on the year. So that
Congratulations, Blake.
That is fantastic. Now, I am wearing my Buster Posey jersey because as Reds fans just cannot stand the sight or the sound of hearing the words Buster Posey, because in that series he hit the grand slam and just crushed their spirits. As Miles' spirits for the whole podcast are just crushed now. He's like, womp womp.
I'm walking away.
Yeah,
Thanks, Adam.
So
we needed him for this episode too. Okay.
Right. He's got a lot to go over.
Thanks, Adam.
He is gonna give us the idiot of the week. Be sure to stay tuned for that. So as we look at baseball real quick, the standings are a little wild. We were talking before the show, and T.I., you thought the Reds must have won 24 games, and you look at that division. How's it looking, dude?
Yeah, the NL Central's tight. I'm a Cardinals fan. I don't know, it's been rough for us the past couple of years, but we're actually out there competing this year. So, but the way that Adam, like I said, you made it sound, I thought Cincinnati was out there, just hanging around 20, 25 wins. But no, we found out that is clearly the White Sox. Clearly the White Sox.
So as it stands right now, as we look at the American League Central, I had a chance to see the Detroit Tigers in action earlier this year. If you follow Sports Idiot Nation all over social media, you did get a chance to see that. I sent some pics in to that. And the Tigers are pretty bad, but they're 53-60. And the Chicago White Sox would love life if they were 53-60. Sadly, are you ready? They have a winning percentage of .237. .237. They are 27-87. I'm going to say that one more time. They are 27-87, a measly 41.5 games out of the Cleveland Guardians, who are 67-44.
And to add insult to injury, yesterday was the 28th anniversary of Robin Ventura getting his ass whipped by Nolan Ryan. So
you went there.
Had to.
So
man.
have you guys
happening to them this season? They're getting punched in the face.
So I'm going to ask you guys.
They can win their last 48 games, and they'd still end up 12 games below 500. And don't forget, they've lost 20 in a row. tonight they go for the record for infamy to tie the record of 21 straight losses, be a
You can
AL
do it.
record, would tie it.
We believe in you,
Against the
Chicago.
Sacramento A's.
Stay tuned for tonight, Monday, August 5th. Could be history in the making. I'm looking for the sequel to Moneyball. It's Loser Ball.
We'll work on that
speaking-
title. We'll work on the title.
Well, yeah.
Chicago
Come on,
style.
give me a break. Give me a break. I'm a Hall of Fame podcaster. I'm not a slogan machine.
Hall of Fame. Okay.
So, self-induced. So here's the question though. Have you guys seen on, I believe, is it on Netflix? I think it is, the Nolan Ryan doc.
Oh, my dad talked about it. My dad saw it.
I will tell you, go ahead and leave because you're sad about the Reds anyway. Go watch it. I'm telling you. It is good. He's going behind enemy lines. So, no, dude,
It's
it
back.
is so
It's
good.
back.
It was quite good. I liked it.
He's
And
got
they
the cliff
highlight,
notes.
and
He's
we're
got the
back.
cliff notes.
So they talk about that, and like it's an awesome story to hear that it wasn't honestly beef between those two guys, and it was just beef between the teams of what was happening, and it was just they said whoever gets hit next, they're rushing, and it doesn't matter who's pitching, doesn't matter if it was Robin Ventura, if it was Ozzie Guillen, it didn't matter if it was Rock Reigns. Whoever got plunked, they were just going after him. And when you watch that footage, Robin Ventura hesitates as if to think, wait a minute, I'm supposed to do this right now, but I don't wanna. But he's like, nope, we had a pact. This is what we were gonna do. And so he goes out there and he finds a few knuckle sandwiches and a chokehold and
The sacrificial lamb.
this is so awesome. So awesome.
Yeah, I was watching that game live. I had a spat for a while where I was rooting for the White Sox because they had a lot of they had Frank Thomas with Auburn, they had Bo Jackson. Robin Ventura was a good player. He was fun to watch. So they were fun to watch. So I kind of adopted him as my American League team for a few years, but that faded quickly. But I was watching that game live and I was like, holy shit! I mean, you could see it though. Like Robin Ventura knew it was coming. As soon as he met up there, Nolan Ryan just had that look in his eye, like, oh,
Harry, you got that look in your eye.
Boy, you done made a mistake, young man.
Young man for sure, because Nolan Ryan, I'm pretty sure, was old enough to be that man's father, and he beat him like a stepchild, is what he did. So that
red-headed.
That was wild. And what's funny is on the doc that you can watch, they officially say Robin Ventura declined to be interviewed. Yeah, I'm not talking about that either. Like, dude, no, I don't want to talk about that. That was one of the worst days of my career. You want to interview me? I'm good.
Yeah. Hey, this is
So
Netflix. We're
funny.
just curious if you might want to be interviewed about you getting your ass kicked live on national television and in front of
Say,
the entire
Robin,
fans.
What are you doing
Nah.
next Tuesday? Why? What if they hoodwinked him and said, "Oh, we want to do a documentary on how good the White Sox were," and then they just ask him about that right away, and he's like, "Hey, I'm not doing this," and then they just say he declined.
Like, well,
That's what we're going with. That's
you
what happened.
signed this piece
Make
of
it
paper
about the
saying you were.
Bears instead.
Yeah. So, all right, let's shift gears into the present, and it was not a present to us. The Texans and Bears was certainly not a present that was given to us. It is funny how they got to where they are. It's just a coincidence that the Bears and Texans rosters were severely affected by Davis Mills throwing a touchdown on 4th and 50 and got Lovie Smith fired. You bring in the defensive stud coordinator from my 49ers in to now coach the Texans. You get the Bears getting the number 1 pick. You get all of this mayhem from a little 4th and it was like 4th and 18.
The butterfly effect.
Yeah.
The butterfly effect of it. But I don't even know that it would have had that major of a consequence, because then the Texans get the number one overall pick. If they're smart, they still take C.J. Stroud. And the Panthers still could have traded up with Chicago and sold the farm to get Bryce Young at number 2. So it could have not had a huge effect. I mean, hindsight,
You think
whatever
now
it
you
is,
guys are
but-
haters? Do you think that the Texans? You're the haters of the Texans. That's fair. You'd rather, I get it. I completely get who you'd rather root for, as that was discussed in episode 1. By the way, be sure to check out episode 1 if you have not. New episodes come out every Thursday and Monday. So this is episode 2. Keep it locked in. Be sure to like and subscribe on all of the channels we have through telepathy that you can follow us. You name it, we have it. And then the most fun way to watch is on YouTube. So back to Bears Texans. Like, do you think they would have got CJ Stroud first pick, honestly?
I do. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not trying to pan Bryce Young as a bust, but he just didn't come across to me as somebody that I'd be willing to bet the farm on. CJ Stroud to me, I think maybe Bryce Young had the bigger stage because it's SEC, but I thought CJ Stroud was a better college quarterback. But with that being said, would they take him? I think they still do. I mean, the way that they, I think they got word the Titans were trying to trade up. It was no secret that the Titans were interested in Stroud as well. They were trying to trade up. Texans made sure that didn't happen, with Arizona. But ironically, Arizona used the pick they traded with the Texans to trade back with us when we got Will Levis. So the Texans sort of helped us draft Will Levis, which is kind of funny there, So it's just weird,
was available. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, he slips to the second, and Titans moved up in that round to get him, and they traded with Arizona, and Arizona used the pick they got from the Texans. So it's kind of funny,
We'll see if Will Levis gets the last laugh, because we were all laughing at him on draft day when they go to him and he's just like, "Get the camera off me, please." That was like, you have that sinking feeling, like, oh. So we'll see how he does this year. I know they're high on him. I know you guys are high on him. You had a chance, again, follow us on social media and follow Titans Idiot Nation, because you had a nice little week. Why don't you tell us a little bit?
Oh man, I had a crazy week. Went to Titans training camp. Kind of lucked out. Was able to kind of go through the gauntlet there of who's the players and get some photos and talk to them for a second. And was able to get Will and Malik both rock the shade, so that's awesome. Jumped on the Talk to Me podcast with huge Titans fan Joshua Toomey, and was lucky enough to be featured in the same episode as Zach Wild. And if you're familiar with rock and roll or familiar with music at all, you should recognize that name. If you don't, you should pause this and Google it.
Yeah, you should jump off a bridge.
But it was a pretty wild week. But training camp was fun. Training camp was a blast. Of course, there were lots of fights. We had the Buck Rising and Jeffrey Simmons spat that happened literally right behind me, right in front of me. Truth be told, the shades that Malik received were initially meant for Jeffrey Simmons, but he had other plans for that day, and so I chose to leave him alone.
You chose to not get pummeled.
Yeah, I was like, when you're calling out the radio show live on the radio, it's probably a good day to back away.
Yeah, like he views you just as another radio guy. He doesn't know, like, no, I'm not one of those. I'm a good one. Yeah, he doesn't. He's just seeing red, like wherever. So good move by you.
I did give Buck some shades though afterwards. He looked at him like, "What the f are these?" But yeah, it was a fun week, man. It was a lot of fun. I give a big shout out to Joshua for having me on the Talk to Me podcast. We'll have him on at some point as well. He's got lots of stories. He's interviewed tons of awesome rockers, but he's got a lot of funny sports stories as well. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, that's about my week in a nutshell, man. Got to meet a bunch of Titans players and goof around with them. I made all 3 quarterbacks laugh. Told Will Levis that he's got a cannon and that he's a bad, there's too many kids around. I would have said some more choice words, and he thought it was funny. I told Malik that I said these shades look good on me, but you'll make them look damn good. And he was like, I agree, threw them on, and I told him once a War Eagle, always War Eagle, and he started laughing because I don't know if people know the story, but he originally was at Auburn and transferred when he lost the starting job. And that's not a knock on him. I'm just saying, like, he originally was a Tiger, and I watched a lot of his footage when he was committed. So it's like, I've kind of, have a little soft spot for him, it may, whatever happens with him happens, but I still got a soft spot for him. So he was cool. And then Mason Rudolph, I told him if we have a Christmas Eve game, he has to get the start. And of course, he really enjoyed that and kept laughing. He was about 3 or 4 people down the line. He was still laughing. So yeah, it was a good week, man. Good week.
So does he have a very shiny nose in real life?
He is a very tall human being, very large human being. You don't really see it on TV, but when you see him out there in the huddle and stuff, like, he is massive.
The tall glass of water.
Yeah.
For those of you,
very
boys
handsome,
and girls
very
out
handsome,
there,
very handsome man. I mean, I'm not saying.
For those of you boys and girls out there that don't know this, I live about 45 minutes away from Nissan Stadium. And here in Clarksville, we have a Mason Rudolph golf course, and they're trying to shut it down. So I'm really curious to find out what his thoughts are on them going after his golf course. I think it's insane. I think he needs to stand up for his own civil rights.
That's right.
It is insanity.
Don't let him take your golf course, Mason.
So speaking of, be sure to stay tuned to all of our social medias this weekend, because I will be hopefully catching up with some of these knuckleheads as the 49ers take on the Tennessee Titans in their first preseason game. So it'll be fun to chop it up in person, hang out, get some footage. We'll be at the game. So definitely stay tuned. We'll be talking more football, obviously. So as we get into how much longer, honestly, so today's the 5th, Miles, how long do we have for the Olympics?
6 days. It ends on the 11th.
Okay. So what are your biggest surprises so far for the Olympics, and who, as we introduced a brand new segment brought to you by the Toy Pit, your best space to go to for we always talk about Ninja Turtles, so we found a way to bring it up again. If you need to buy a Ninja Turtle for your kid because you've introduced them to the action figures that you loved as a kid, and the Ninja Turtles and Transformers and things like that are still going strong, as we know. So if you need to buy one of those toys, the Toy Pit, yourtoypit.com is where you want to go. And so this new fresh segment is brought to you by the Toy Pit, and it is Idiot of the Week. So Miles, who is our Idiot of the Week?
Well, our Idiot of the Week unequivocally is the entire Olympic Committee for their tendencies to be inconsistent and screw up at every possible turn. The one thing they do get consistent is trying to save face and cover their own backside, and yet they end up screwing over the athletes in the process.
So we joke and say you have 3-4 years to get this right, and you somehow find a way to screw it up, in some cases worse than before. What's the major thing that you see that could have been avoided with this whole thing in the like, let's just get into it. What do you see it as?
Well, the whole thing, and you hear all the stories of, oh, it was a man, and no, it's not a transgender, and testosterone levels were high, and she has a Y chromosome, which, to be clear, is a female born a female, has a rare condition that there's 2 of them, one for Taiwan, and then the main one, Iman Khalif, out of Algeria. Which should be the real controversy. We're letting people in from Algeria. No, I'm totally kidding. But the fact that we have this situation where it comes up after the fact, when we already had the IBA, the International Boxing Association, made a ruling on this. They already did the testing, and now the Olympic Committee has to backtrack on all of it. And now they're trying to point fingers at the IBA and point fingers at these other countries that are bringing up an issue with it, when they had the opportunity to do the same testing themselves. They had the opportunity to make the ruling in advance, and it's everyone else's fault. And they're just going to roll with it, and they're not going to admit their mistakes of they allowed this to become a controversy. Don't care where you land on it. Don't care if you think Iman or Lin Ting from Taiwan should be in the competition or not. That doesn't matter. What matters is the IOC allowed this to happen in the first place. Oh, but that's not even the biggest issue that I got with them. From the Netherlands, and it's a reason why I'm rocking the Brazil jersey, repping my wife tonight. A rapist, a convicted felon from the Netherlands was allowed to play after he SA'd a 12-year-old girl just about 8 years ago and was competing in the Olympics in men's beach volleyball. Thankfully, Brazil knocked him out just a couple days ago. So he's done. He's going home and he can go rot wherever he is. He only spent, because the Netherlands, they're all sorts of screwed up. It's a back-ass word country. He only spent 13 months in prison after he did what he did to a 12-year-old minor.
A 12-year-old girl, yeah, that's
now he's in the Olympics.
Beyond idiot. Yeah, like, hooray.
Great job,
like,
Olympic Committee. And that's not getting the news it should, because of the whole situation with the boxing, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, and then you have the whole issue once again with the Olympic Village. You have a gold medalist from Italy, swimmer, who just the other day, you can go look up the pictures. We might even throw it up for you here in a bit. This swimmer sleeping outside because the conditions are so god awful.
You had 4 years to figure this out. What?
Well, only 3, because COVID year, the 2020 Olympics were 2021. So only 3 years to make a nice little setting in Paris.
Well, okay, then we can't complain, I guess.
Well, only 3 years,
That fourth year could have been the one where they made all the important decisions,
We know if they had that extra year in 2021 to prep for the Paris Games, the IOC for once would have got it right. I'm sure in LA they're going to be perfect. Yeah, it's miserable. God. It's a mess. And I was so excited for these games, for the opening ceremony. Of course, they still couldn't avoid controversy. That may not have been on the Olympic Committee, but they still oversee all these organizers. Again, I don't care where you stand on all of this. The whole point of this is avoid controversy, bring unity, let us forget about all the troubles going on all over the world, all these wars going on, and have some damn unity for 2 weeks. And the IOC finds a way to choke every single time. And they will again in 2026 in Milan, and they will again in 2028 in LA, and they'll keep doing it until there's some damn accountability. But it won't come. I'm not holding my breath.
Well, let's start saving up, TI, because we can make a pilgrimage, a Sports Idiot Nation pilgrimage for duty and humanity for all of America to make it to the Olympics in LA. And maybe we can help if there's people outside on the street needing a place to stay. Maybe we can start a GoFundMe now through Sports Idiot Nation and help get some Airbnbs and we can just start campaigning that some of our people will be on the street, guys. Just $1 a day will help these poor Olympians.
In the arms of the angels.
Well, Miles will probably have to join you on that, because I'm going to be competing in the Olympics, actually.
I thought one of you two were going to go there.
Yes, I've seen so many of these events. I'm like, come on, man.
Pong,
I mean, give me a chance, man. Give me 2 beers. You're going down whatever you pick.
Which
I'll let you pick. I'll let you pick the event. I don't care.
Speaking of,
I'll pole vote. Why not?
So real quick, TI. Speaking of that, give your pitch for what you're doing with Titans Idiot Nation, what you're campaigning for.
What I'm campaigning for? I am campaigning for Titans Fan of the Year. Obviously, you have to get nominated. You can nominate yourself, which I selfishly did. I waited 8 years to do it, so it's not so selfish, right? But people can nominate you. The misfortunate side of it, or fortunate, is which way you look at it, is that other people make the decisions on whether you get the chance to be voted upon, So you send in your video submissions, whatever you want to do. And then hopefully the NFL, and Captain Morgan's decides that I'm worthy enough to be added on the ballot. And they'll probably have 2 or 3 people, I think usually is how it goes. And then at that point, it's kind of left to voting. So I'm running for Titans Fan of the Year. I was the senior class president in 1997, so I do have experience running campaigns. I did the Macarena for my campaign speech.
Not the Macarena. You did the Macarena.
The Macarena.
Mocked it.
I did
He
it.
definitely mocked it.
I said the other girl I was running against got up and gave her speech. And I said, I did not come prepared for a speech, but what I did come prepared is to do the Macarena. And I had my VP break out a boombox because this was 1997. We didn't have a way to listen to it in our hands. And I did it for my whole senior class. And, spoiler alert, I got elected. She didn't. So.
Going into the depths for that one. Like, yes.
So
leadership.
Here I am, years later, campaigning again as an idiot. Ironically, right?
Once again, isn't that Bernie? Once again, I'm coming to you to ask.
Yeah,
I'm coming to you once again to ask for money.
Oh man, the parallels.
It was terrible. That sounded more like
very
Larry
useless.
David, but
it was pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, curb your enthusiasm, literally curb it. So, all right. Before you bang your microphone off of its stand, we know you can't see. That's hilarious.
Just talking.
Yes,
shit,
that
man.
is very cool. And if I'm definitely pulling for you, even though I could not care less about the Titans, and even this week, even less.
I mean,
less.
I've got to get.
I found a way.
I got to get nominated first. I mean, who knows? They may look at my stuff and go, this is a ploy or a gimmick kind of thing. I mean, it's not. I don't get to. But I sent him my video, and you guys saw it. It was genuine and honest,
man, it was good.
and real. And I've been at day one since day one. So it's not all an act. So.
No, for sure.
You're not as cool as that 51-year-old Turkish dude who walked up and won a silver medal, put his hand in his pocket, and with just basic glasses, kind of like the ones you got. But
he's a badass.
If he had the TI, the epic shades, he possibly could be eligible to run as Titans Fan of the Year.
He could and should. He was a badass. He is a badass. Well, yeah, I'm acting like he's no longer with us.
He's not dead.
I mean,
he didn't
51, not 81.
He pulled an Alec Baldwin.
He came into our lives and left so quickly.
Alec Baldwin, I never miss.
Yeah. So let's keep going with the Olympics. You mentioned that. I want to talk. Let's just go through down the line, kind of rapid fire. So when we think of basketball, the LeBron and Steph Curry, they're kind of doing their thing. Steve Kerr
merger.
Merger. We're doing the merger. What's crazy is he didn't play, NBA Finals champion Jason Tatum, and then said, "Oh, I felt really stupid." Like, dude, what are you doing? But they're beating the teams that they should. The teams who are not beating the teams they should is Jimmer Fredette. Jimmer Fredette and the 3-on-3. So I'll be honest. I didn't necessarily know that basketball 3-on-3 Gus Smacker? What? I didn't know that was an Olympic thing. And I certainly didn't know until I saw him getting rubbed in his nethers that Jimmy Fredette was even a participant. Be honest, did you guys know that before the story came out about 3-on-3 and that Jimmer was on the team?
Yes.
Go ahead, Miles.
Yeah, so of course, because I obsess over this crap. Yes, I did know it was a thing, but more importantly, I did know it was a joke. Now that I like Jimmer back in his college days and whatnot, but he's washed. And also, if Ice Cube ain't anywhere near that court, I don't want to watch 3-on-3 ball. It's stupid, and the U.S. going 2-5 honestly kind of figures because we have no vested interest in that. And I honestly tried to watch a game. I think it was their third or fourth game where they actually finally won one. And it's a mess, dude. It's not even fun to watch, to be quite frank. Like, look, I can go out and do that. Yeah, we can all play basketball, but I can go and play a game as organized as that out on a random street corner.
just
They're gonna have
wild, man.
They're gonna have just a free throw competition next. Who's gonna get
might as well.
Who's gonna get gold in the free throws?
I'm a pretty good free throw shooter, dude.
We're gonna have all 25 participants shoot 100 free throws.
You must weigh over 250 pounds though, so that'll make it more entertaining.
Hey, there you go.
The common man.
I'm just under.
There you
got to
go.
throw
I
a
like
curveball.
that.
And I've seen that meme going around. Like, this would be a lot more entertaining if you just got if they send out mail to random Americans and you've been selected for to participate in the Olympics, and people are like, "Oh, that's the Hunger Games." No. Hunger Games are fixed. We all know that they only select the best ones. It's more like jury duty. You get put into the pool, you get brought in, and then if you get dismissed, you get dismissed. The top 12 that are selected by the jury, it has nothing to do with athletic ability. It's who will be the most entertaining ones, who will guide the best stories or command the best stories for this. Kind of like our boy from Turkey, 51-year-old, hand in the pocket, shades on, and just blowing it away, man.
What a badass.
Yeah, boy.
That's the Olympics we want.
I wish that guy.
But then you also have someone that's 4'8" who wins the all around yet again. But she's just a baller. Most people that are 4'8" you don't think are elite athletes, but if you're a gymnast, you don't want to be 5 foot.
Right.
For sure.
So, all right, continuing down the line, Canada had a little Spygate issue, and doing it with a team that you wouldn't think, like, you're doing it with them.
Yeah,
what's going on there?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah,
I guess
cheating, you ain't
only
trying.
the best teams out there, but they got caught, so she wasn't very good at cheating. And what's funny to me though is even with doing that and getting 6 points deducted, they still finished second in their group. Like, that's embarrassing that they had 3 points, the equivalent of 1 win out of 3 games, and they still finished second in their group. So they're like, whatever, we'll go out. They ended up losing to Germany in the quarterfinals, and they were going to lose in that round, probably regardless of whomever they played. But it's just hilarious that they get disciplined. They discipline the player. Again, this is how the IOC sucks, but it's not just the IOC. A lot of places do this. The coach does something egregious, and then the players get punished for it.
Right. Flying the drone, like, dude, what are you, like? They're not going to see a bzz, like,
it should have been. See, the Chinese had it right. They were flying balloons at 50,000 feet. They should have done that. I would have let it go.
They should have just disguised it as like a baguette and just had it like flying around. People would be like, "Oh, that's just
with a beret, beret on a baguette."
Yeah, that's just a flying piece of bread. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Okay, so how about Noah Lyles? Let's talk a little Noah Lyles.
Man, whew.
So
yesterday,
fast. Is that Noah Lyles or is that Sonic the Hedgehog? I don't know who's out there. Dude, it's ridiculous, man. He's so. I love his, like. What do you say? He told him. He said, "I'm never gonna underestimate my opponents again, and I feel sorry for anybody else who I have to race against," or something like that. I was like, all right, man.
Zoinks.
Ballsy, but he made him pay.
Yeah, he did. Backed it up.
So that's got to be the closest finish in 100 history. And to see that, I loved hearing the broadcasters on that at the very end. They were all up, "Oh, Thompson, Jamaica wins gold." Oh, we got to check the video. Oops. But dude, first to last, I mean, it was a damn near photo finish from first to 8.
So there is one of the best bits regarding this of all time, and it is by A1 Jerry Seinfeld, and he this I almost have it verbatim, and so feast your ears and eyes. So I love to travel. I love, and I especially love the Olympics. I always love when countries are involved in competing, and I think I have a problem with that silver medal. You like to win gold. If you don't win anything, I mean, at least I was there. If I was bronze, at least I won something. But if you're running a race and you get silver, well, then everyone wants to know the story. What happened? Did you not hear the gun go off? Did you trip? Like, what happened? Silver medal. Well, the time was like that I missed it was like nah, like it was like from now to now, like nah, like we're like from now to now, like, oh, that was time. Like the guy, you gotta think, like, this guy flew halfway around the world. All his family and friends came out to see him. He's been training since he was a fetus. He never did a line of coke. He never did booze. He never did anything. Like, again, training since he was a fetus, doing sit-ups, all this. The guy shoved the gun. No one lost ahead of you. You are the number one loser.
That's right.
The guy's got to be thinking, if I had a pimple, I would have won. Like,
literally, or stuck his tongue out. Something.
That bit by
McQueen,
Jerry
Lightning
Seinfeld
McQueen,
is about 20 years old, and it is exactly perfect to the guy who got second place, because everyone's going to ask him, so what happened there? Well, nah, like from now.
Yeah, and even eighth place could say that because of how truly close that was. Obviously, Thompson second, 5/1000ths, not 5/10ths, not 5/100ths, 5/1000ths of a second. I screwed up my word there, but that's just how shocking this is.
Yeah,
from first to second on that. And then first to last, get this actually, the dude that finished last, who is also Jamaican, if he was running in 1988, he would have won gold over Carl Lewis. That's how not only close this was, that's how much these athletes have improved over the last 36 years. But it's so insane to see not the improvement, how close this race was. This 2024 Paris 100-meter men's final will be watched for decades and decades. When they do the intro to the 2060 Olympics, they will show this.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal.
Well,
it was like watching the NL Central.
Back to Adam's point, to Mr. Seinfeld's point about the second medal. There is a wise philosopher by the name of Sir Richard Bobby who said, "If you ain't first, you're last." And that's pretty much the truth, right?
I think it was Richard Roberts, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah,
but
you're not on fire. You're not on fire.
But you do. You train your whole life for that moment, and you only want gold. You only want gold. Sure, you'll take a souvenir. But you really wanted that gold. And yeah, you ain't first, you're last. Although, his dad told him that's just some stuff he said when he was high. Because he said, you can be second, third, fourth. Hell, you can even be fifth.
Real simple, son. There's a kilo underneath the.
There's a kilo of Alabama or Bam Bam under the cops are all.
That movie.
Dude, it's top 10 comedy for me. I can watch it beginning to end anytime it's on and never get tired of it. Never.
Absolutely stay tuned to some of our Thursday episodes as we get into stuff like this. And I am bookmarking that in the next 2 months, we will go over like some of our funny sports movies, and we'll have to go with, Talladega Nights and some of those, because just like doing all the one-liners, you watch those movies and you get like headaches from laughing. You're like, dude, I gotta shut this off. Like, I'm getting a headache. Those are those movies. Like, dude, so many one-liners, so epic. All right, let's keep it going with man, the Olympics. The more I think about it, there is so much going on. Okay, so we talked Noah Lyles and that. If the guy had a pimple, Katie Ledecky, like, she is immortalized, right? Like, what? Yeah. What's the situation?
She is the greatest female Olympian of all time, and really nothing else needs to be said about her. Sorry, Simone Biles, you're the greatest gymnast of all time. Katie Ledecky is the greatest female Olympian of all time, and I'll one-up it. Katie Ledecky is the greatest female athlete of all time. Hot take.
She dominates. That's all she does.
Sorry, Simone. Sorry, Serena. Anyone that says Serena is the greatest female athlete of all time is a casual. They don't pay attention to sports. Katie Ledecky is the most dominant female athlete of all time. She is the best at what she does compared to any other athlete out there that is female. Period. It's over.
Let me ask you this. The world remembers what Michael Phelps did for swimming. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, swimming was not as big of a deal or at the forefront. Like, don't tell that to any swimmer. And I know you were a swimmer, Miles. I
Right.
know don't say that to swimmers because they'll say, no, swimming was, but I'm just being real and honest. Like, it
The
wasn't
popularity
as
of
much.
it, of course. Well, that
Right.
makes me think back to the early 90s soccer. Like any soccer hooligan that's American, that's your age or older, will be like, no, I was always into soccer. Soccer was always the best sport to me. But the 1994 Olympics, or excuse me, the 1994 World Cup, hosted in the United States, changed all that. It popularized the sport in the United States, and we went from a complete no-name country to we make the World Cup now. Usually, we're still not elite, but it made the sport extremely popular in this country. Same with Michael Phelps. Yeah, Mark Spitz in the past, but that was before media the way it is today, social media,
Yeah.
TV coverage. Michael Phelps in the mid 2000s made it massive. Everyone was watching the 2008 Olympics. Yeah, the Redeem team, you had that. It was a huge story. It was important. But the number one thing people really were interested in is how many will he win? Michael Phelps in the 70s was 7 events, 7 gold medals, 7 world records. Michael Phelps, 8 events, 8 gold medals, 7 world records.
That's insanity.
Michael
I mean,
Phelps.
and 90,000 calories burned.
Right. Dude, have you seen his meals? His
Yes, that's what I'm
10,000
saying.
calorie days? Oh my God.
I'm on the same.
Right.
Wait a
Been
second.
there.
Wait a second.
Same.
Are you
Same.
training? Are you
I don't-
training?
Mm.
You training?
Well, no.
You should, well, you
No,
should
that's
be.
UTI for 2028. That's just
right.
UTI.
That's right.
Your physique, you pound 15K a day, don't you?
Yeah, man, I do. As many cheeseburgers and tacos as I can find, you know?
Man, get them all.
Yeah.
Fitness is his
I'm
path.
trying to collect the whole set.
Try to
You're
get
not Pokemon, dude.
Yeah, I was going to say about Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps is the Katie Ledecky of male swimming, pretty much.
Well,
you
geez, a super hot take by a one
Yeah.
TI. Follow more at Titans Idiot Nation.
I mean, I'm not. I mean,
Okay.
I'm trying to push some buttons, but I mean,
Yeah, no, you no.
he probably looks.
Let's.
He looks up to her, I'm sure.
He doesn't look up to many.
Yeah,
people,
you're true.
but,
He is. He does. He's very tall.
You know his favorite NFL team, the Ratbirds.
Ugh.
Oh, we just.
Well,
oh,
I mean,
the-
let's. It's Michael Phelps. I mean, I have no. You know, I don't have a Michael Phelps poster on my wall. Like, he's amazing. He did great, but like, you know,
You have no beef with.
I mean, he can like whatever.
Let's
team
set
he
up a
likes,
beef.
You know,
You heard it here first.
The city's
Ti has beef.
he's not coming
with
to my Christmas party this year, though. You're off the list, Michael
Yeah.
Phelps.
Mason Rudolph is.
Mason Rudolph is. Well, he'll be busy. He'll be busy. Well, maybe not.
No, are you
yeah.
high? No, he won't.
He'll be driving Santa's sleigh.
Well, he ain't busy playing the foosball because the
Well.
foosball is the dabble.
Well, he's going to be a backup. He's not going to be third string, so he's going to be busy. He'll be busy practicing.
No, that lifting his
Holding the
clipboard
clipboard.
arm. He's got to lift weights.
He's like, keep your hands
He's
steady,
not
Mason.
going to be busy.
Keep your hands steady,
Make
Mason.
no mistake, dude. That guy's making money to not be busy.
Don't show it.
Who else was busy getting a lot of attention? And Miles had the hot take on her. So gymnastics. Let's talk about that first. And I'll say regarding the guys. And again, another reason to follow us on social media, because we shared that as well. Like, I happened to catch that live. Here's my little beef with the Olympics, and I totally get it. It's just my personal beef. I'll die on this hill alone, probably. But I'll watch something live at 2 p.m. and then people are updating Facebook at 8 p.m. as if it's live, and it ain't. And it's just, I don't know. It just like grinds my gears. Grinds my gears. Like,
All right,
I don't
Peter
know.
Griffin.
All right.
Chaps your ass,
Yeah,
frost your balls.
Anyway, I was watching at 2 p.m. and it was just fun to see the guys, like, the way that they strutted their stuff. It made you think like they didn't think that they had a chance until all of a sudden they started performing like, hey, we can get a medal. And they did. And like the excitement, and it was like the classic joke of, you know, a black guy, a Chinese guy, and a couple nerds walk into a bar. like it's your classic joke, and oh, they won a medal. Like it was just cool the way they were arm in arm and high-fiving, and the place was going crazy. It was just honestly a cool thing, and I caught it, and we posted it on our social media, and it was just really cool to see. Now, to the women, obviously more decorated, and I think it's interesting that Simone got blocked on Twitter because originally, what was the girl that said, "Oh, they're not very good this year. They're not very."
Michaela Skinner. And a lot of people are like, oh, she was trashing Simone. No, she was saying Simone was the only one worthy of being there.
Yeah, and so it's not really beef with her, but that's
Well,
just you
it
don't
was
do
silly
that.
because she made that it was a throwaway comment. And the big thing was they had talked it out, they had reconciled, and then Simone went back and then decided to escalate it after the fact, saying, "Oh, look, we're good enough," and all this stuff. So everyone's trashing Skinner. It's like Simone didn't need to make that comment. Skinner didn't need to make the comment in the first place, of course. And I'm sure
Well, she
there's
got
a
blocked.
hint. Well, Simone got blocked after she made
Yeah.
that comment. So Skinner blocked her. Now, is there jealousy there because Skinner's the same age as Simone? Possibly, probably, thinking
No,
that she
not
still
possibly.
belongs. Well, and there's more to it than that because she's
It's chicks,
pretty
dude.
much out of the game anyways. Yeah, of course they're weave on the floor always.
Women be shopping.
She's still arguing on Twitter though with because her husband, was wearing one of her medals, which she said, I get every member of my family to wear a medal. Of course, some moron on trying to, I guess up her TikTok channel is like, take the medal off. You didn't do anything to win that. And it's like, of course, she goes
like
after
Army spouses right there. Our rank is captain. You must address me by my husband's rank.
Well, Simone Biles hopped in.
happens
It
all
was
the
like, give me a break. Like, this is my husband, whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
hop off.
do you think if my wife goes out and wins a medal, you think I'm not going to put the damn thing around my neck? Probably take some photos.
come
I
on.
mean, come on, man.
Now,
That's probably
it's a little different.
that's-
You're not an NFL player though, Ti. You've been on NFL field this week, but
well, I'm going to be an
a-
Olympic athlete in 4 years, Adam. So
fair. I should address you with more respect, and I shall moving
It's
forward.
Mr.
We're
Sir.
only on episode 2. A quick reminder to follow us on all of our social media and to catch us on YouTube. It's probably the most fun way. If you see a fellow idiot that loves sports, pop culture, and comedy, be sure to show them the channel and like and share it with your friends. So, man, yeah, a lot going on. Olympics winding down.
Right.
NFL football. Every
and Adam,
team
I have
plays.
to cut you off because one more thing on the whole Olympic gymnastic controversy thing. In this household, we had a little bit of controversy there too. My wife despises Simone Biles, and you know why? Because she's American. My wife's Brazilian, so she's obviously cheering on Rebecca Andrade, who was number 2 and clearly number 2. So all that went down. We saw the results, at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. your time, but we didn't get a chance to catch it till the evening. We saw the results. We saw that Andrade was silver and Biles took gold. And my wife, without seeing any of it, was, oh, this is rigged. It's always rigged towards the Americans. And they always have the favoritism because you're just who you are and everything. And then she heard just on social media that she outperformed them on Andrade outperformed Biles on the uneven bars. She's like, see, that's proof it's rigged. We went back and watched it. And at the end, after the floor routine, I looked over at her. I was like, what you got to say now, Brazilian woman? Sit down. Simone clearly was the best out there.
And then she punched Miles in the face. Miles went out and slept in the doghouse.
Yeah.
Not in the
she was
Olympic
better.
Village that now. Out on the street with my Italian buddy.
Oh man, that is so awesome. Like to see that, like with the understanding that you're gonna be watching something rigged, and then to watch it and like, oh, I'll see myself out, like kind of thing.
It's that Homer meme, right? Back through the shrub.
Back into the bushes, and then she's wearing a Team USA. That's epic. Yeah.
Check the flag, y'all.
She's wearing a t-shirt with Simone Biles' face on it, you know.
I still don't like her. Oh,
Right.
That's
fair.
That's what you should get her for Christmas.
I'm like, yeah, I looked at her and I was like, well, okay, this white guy shouldn't be calling my Latinic wife racist. No, that's not. No, that wouldn't jive.
Not the move.
No, not the move. I can't really back that up.
I'm about to mansplain racism to you. That'll go over real well. That'll go over real well.
Oh man, yeah, that won't go viral for the wrong reason at all. So
not to mention Andrade is black as well. Like, they don't give a damn.
Allegedly.
She's Brazilian. She's proud of it. Damn it. But
of course,
they're not as good as America. Brazil, like every other country in the world, is inferior to the United States of America.
It's a fact.
I know it. You know it. We all know
it.
We all know
a fact. We have one.
They took it into a lab. They took it into a lab and they proved it. We are the best. We are number one at being the best, and the best at being number one. Plain and simple. It's that easy.
And we're the most humble.
America has won every Super Bowl since I have been alive. America has won.
That's the biggest thing with England. Yeah, they
just don't win Super Bowls in England.
And they started off 13-0. And we had
they blew a 13 colony lead.
That's worse than the Atlanta Falcons.
It is.
There's some of our viewers out there right now with the history book going like, what the hell are they talking about?
So, yeah, this is going to happen a lot on this show. You're going to have to get used to it and embrace it, and like and subscribe. Again, share with your friends. We definitely, I think this Thursday, going to have to talk a little Deadpool, because we had a chance to watch it as it came out last week as well. We got to talk through that a little bit. So catch us this Thursday. Be sure again to like and subscribe. Follow us on all the social medias. For Miles behind enemy lines and Mr. T.I. I am Adam Marino, and we will see you Thursday. Okay, all you sinners, follow Sports Idiot Nation on TikTok, X, and Instagram. Like us on Facebook, and remember, the most fun way to watch us is on YouTube every Monday and Thursday. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you can be updated when new content drops. Remember, the podcast can also be found on the usual suspects of Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Always remember, don't be an idiot.
Sinner.